Hello and welcome back to a Game of Thrones mod for Crusader Kings 3. Last time, King Robert Baratheon tragically died. And this time we're marrying his widow, Lady Cersei Lannister, and this is a fantastic marriage for us because effectively this sets us up to take the Westerlands. How? Well, she is currently second in line. If we have a look here, it goes Tywin, who holds it, Tyrion, who is 13, and then Cersei Lannister. So, fantastic from that point of view. She will inherit. Now, how does that help us? Well, if she has a child, that child will then be third in line. So, it's a pretty easy set of things that we need to do. Kill Tyrion, wait for Cersei to inherit, kill Cersei, child inherits, child gets the Westerlands. Fantastic. However, I am thinking about it, and if we want to get all the land as Littlefinger, I just had a thought here. If that child has the land, right, and then that child dies, who does the land go to? Well, it will go to the nearest living relative of the child, right? Obviously. And that would be us. Because they would have no siblings, they would have no children of their own. Therefore, it would have to go back up the family tree. It would go up the father's side of the family tree to us, because the mother is dead, and I think it would go to us anyway, which would then mean that we would inherit the Westerlands. That's an interesting thought, especially if we were considering potentially getting more than one of these kingdoms to be ours. Like, potentially, let's say the Riverlands as an example. If we were able to position ourselves to have a second child, and that second child was going to inherit a large chunk of land, well, that's actually fantastic for us, because then if we inherit the Westlands, that second child inherits some land, we could then, when we die, that Westlands would go to that child, and we'd have two pieces of land. And then you can, of course, expand the scheme further and further. You can say, well, what if we have 3 children? Well, then we can continually do it. And actually, we don't even need to just work on the Westlands. We can do this all over the place. We can be like, hey, I'm going to have a child in the Riverlands, a child in the North, a child in the Iron Islands, a child in the Reach, a child in the Stormlands, a child in Dorne, a child in the Vale. And eventually, this is going to end up with us having children everywhere, all inheriting important titles, and then we just bring it all crashing down. It's an idea. How far will we get with it? I'm not entirely sure. Right now, the Westlands is a fairly nice get for us. But, in the future, ooh, that could be good. Now, obviously, we're not going to be able to marry all of them. That's going to take far too long. We may have to do some seduction, but we'll see. We'll see. Anyway, for now, we are in our wedding with Cersei, and that'll be good enough for us. We have a couple of Lannisters here. We have Tywin and we have Tyget. We also have our Officiant being the High Septim. So, this should be good. Let's just have a look at the guest list. So, we have a couple of Lord Paramounts. We have Lord Paramount Jon Arryn, High Septim, and then Lord Tywin Lannister, of course. And then the next biggest person is Lord Alan of Grimholm, who is my liege. That must be a little bit odd for us to be marrying into a... well, I guess it's not really a kingdom, it's a Lord Paramountcy. And our liege being like, you're not going to use your new ally to cause me any trouble, are you? I'm like, no, of course not. I would never. Anyway, to unpause. Artistic differences. As if organising a wedding worthy of my family stature wasn't stressful enough, I also have to deal with Cersei's relatives. Her father, Lord Tywin, arrived bright and early today and has been following me around ever since, complaining about this or that non-stop. As I feel a splitting headache growing behind my eyes, he continues blabbering undeterred. What kind of colour are those flowers? They would clash horribly with Cersei's complexion, and why would you choose such tasteless arrangement for the tables? And don't get me started on these gaudy fabrics. So I can look for common ground, of which there is not much. And say, I don't see you paying for anything, so shut up. Well, let's see here. I think we'll try and satisfy him, because I think that could help us. It didn't work, we just became stressed, but, well, at least we didn't annoy him. Ooh, faction created against Lord Alan. Our acquaintance, Lord Eon, has created the Liberty faction against Lord Alan. So, Liberty factions, I believe, aim to lower crown authority. Yes. So, I think it was in episode 1, we saw our crown authority got moved. If I move this out of the way for a second here. Crown authority, can I see my lieges? Yeah. Our lieges crown authority got moved to level 2, which means that they can revoke titles. We are very against this, so we should actually probably think about being part of this faction. Yeah. What is level 1? Level 1 just gives opinion, right? But we provide levies and taxes, but otherwise free to do as we wish. That's kind of where we want to be. As you go up, we have to start providing more taxes, which is even worse. But yeah, we'd love to be level 1 because then our title can't get revoked. However, the faction will not be that strong. Yeah, I know it says it's strong, but I don't believe it. That's 600. How strong are you? 1,300. Okay, and I think this mark is 70? 80. Okay. Yeah, so how strong are we? 481. So with us and him, we're talking about 1,000. I think we need another person in here before we even consider it. So let's just do that. Oh, someone just gave Cersei a gift, a Westerman bow. Okay, cool. Right, clear that one out there. Let's see. Oh, we're gaining some renown from people offering respects. It's cool. So that's the different houses, or major houses that have come here now giving us renown. Now, how much renown is it for the first Dynasty Legacy? Oh, we can already afford it. We actually just got enough. Fantastic. We should grab that after the wedding. Yeah, perfect. We'll have a look at that. I'm glad I told my servants early to keep an eye out for Cersei's arrival, because in the midst of the wedding preparations, I would have missed it otherwise. Instead, I'm proudly standing in the middle of the courtyard, wearing my fanciest clothes and surrounded by a guard of honor when Cersei makes her entrance. My dear Cersei, you're finally here. No celebration would ever be as pleasant to me as when I can bask in your radiant presence. Okay, so I can say, let me show you the gardens. Get closer to an intimate relationship, otherwise she doesn't care. Would you like to see the venue's preparations? Okay. Or I hope you'll enjoy the ceremony. Let's try this one. It's got a chance of working. Yeah, a chance to get some opinion of us. I think that would be good. She was impressed. Wonderful. That's what we like to see. Okay. Poisonous relations. The preparations and rituals of a wedding ceremony are many. In a lull in between them, I hear some snickering and scoffing coming from a group of Cersei's relatives. When they see that they got my attention, Jaime starts addressing me directly. It's truly a shame we couldn't find anyone better for poor Cersei, but such is life. Oh really? Oh really? I see. Wait, do we have any more Kingsguard here? Just seeing. Is he even... Yeah, so he's down there. I don't think we have any more Kingsguard, because they tend to wear the fancy outfits. Yeah. Okay, cool. So then say yes, yes, of course. Or, is that a challenge? Ooh. Maybe we should get a little rivalry with them. Let's do it. I mean, he did kill the king, which allows us to marry her in the first place. You know, let's get more involved. The day has barely started. I'm already fed up of the incessant blabbering of religious so-called authorities, well-wishers, sycophants, and confused servants. Not surprisingly, I've been seething through most of the ceremony. By the time of our formal consent to the marriage, my patience is wearing thin, and I find myself snapping my reply in annoyance. Do I want to spend the rest of my life with Cersei? So I can be like, nah. Or it can be like, yeah, that seems good. Yeah, I think we will. Yeah, I think that seems pretty good for me. I do. Wonderful. The wedding banquet starts. As the ceremony concludes and we all move to the banquet venue, I secretly smile to myself, picturing the joys to come from my married life with Cersei. Not everyone could be so lucky to marry such a likable person. I wish everyone to share in on my happiness, and let's all tuck in. Enjoy. Quite the spectacle. The hall is awash with a riotous parade of acting troupes, dancing musicians, and exotic charlatans, delighting guests en masse. Near my seat, both Lord Wallace and the High Septum share their opinions on a display. Now this is how I like it, crackles Wallace. A grand, nay magnificent affair. Watch out, spits Watch out, the High Septim spits, dodging a hucked juggling ball. Bloody cavalier hirelings can't even eat my meal safely. Okay. So, Wallace, so glad you're enjoying it. Okay, chance we can get friendship with him, or I'd envisioned it differently when I'd hired them to get some learning here, or I'm focused on the actual entertainment. Let's say I'm glad that Wallace is enjoying it. Sure. Ooh, that said we sweet talked Cersei there. Okay. Lord Tywin offended Lord Kevin of the Westlands. Which order is this in? Is this newest at the bottom? 4th moon, 6th moon. Yeah, it's newest at the bottom. I just want to see the event that we had with Cersei. There we go. That's impressed her with the venue. We already had that one. What was the newer one? Oh, this one. Oh, it just increased acceptance between our cultures. Oh, that's not as exciting. Secret exposed. Lord Dennis's relationship. Oh, I think I knew about that secret. Oh, I think Lord Tyrion's, was someone in his court told us as well. Alright, well that would make it sense then. Sitting opposite my wife, Lady Cersei, provides me with a veritable treasure trove of ways to tease her without breaking the rules of propriety. With a hearty yet languid lick, I collect a heavy mouthful of the sauce coating my portion of lamb. We maintain eye contact the entire time. I can see from the look on her face that Cersei gets my message. What I can't quite discern is her expression. Is that vivacious interest or a tumbling stomach? It's alarmingly difficult to say. One more bite to hammer the point home. There's a 91% chance it works. Perhaps she prefers honest talk. Or this is less fiery than you hoped. I'll roll the dice, 91% chance. She became our lover. Ooh. Okay, we completed it. That seems very good for us. We completed our seduction thing, and we now have a new intrigue perk. I'll do this at the end as well. Throughout the meal, I found myself easily drawn into Tyshaira's conversation. She has some very interesting opinions, makes the very best jokes, and we seem to have so much in common. Whenever I'm recounting an anecdote, she listens attentively and chips in with all the appropriate comments at the appropriate time. Who would have thought I'd find such pleasant company at this wedding? So she can become my friend. So that's Tyshaira Lannister, married to this very odd-looking John Mariband. Okay. Or no need to get any closer. Sure, she can become our friend. That's fine. Friends are good. We like to have friends. Can't get away. I know I should be spending time with my new wife Cersei and her family, but I just can't tear myself away from my friend Tyshaira. I can see Lady Cersei starting to glare at me, but every time I try to excuse myself, Tyshaira has me howling with laughter all over again. And say, what a joy to have her here, and she becomes my best friend. I can try and get Cersei involved. Okay. There's a chance that they become rivals. Let's sneak out so we can talk properly. Okay. Or you must excuse me, my friend. I know this has such a low chance of working, but I'm going to do it anyway, because I actually think them being rivals would be quite funny. Cersei, come join us. Oh, she actually became my friend as well, and friends with Tyshaira. Oh, alright then. That worked out fantastically. Sight, taste, touch, smell, even sound. No human sense is left untouched by the scale and grandeur of the evening's food. A fabulous melee of art and fare. Near my seat, both the High Septim and Lord Umfrid share their opinions about the spread. Another, the High Septim bellows, happily stuffing himself in lieu of detailed commentary. My, it certainly is bustling, Umfrid complains. I barely got a chance to taste each dish. A slower pace wouldn't go amiss. So then say I pick them personally. They aren't quite as I imagined them, and he becomes my friend, or nod along without paying attention. Well, we lowered the guy's opinion of us last time. Let's raise it. I'm going to go with the High Septim here. I know it's less points, but, you know, it is the High Septim. Having him like us is probably good. Wonderful. Fine sculptures, exotic tapestries, strange foreign flower arrangements, and more festoon the banquet hall, a veritable feast for the eyes. Near my seat, both the High Septim and Lord Darren share their opinions on the decorations. Certainly not stingy with the coin here, are they? The High Septim laughs. Well, I can't say I'm afraid to take advantage of the hospitality. I'm not sure, Darren sniffs. doesn't it all feel like it's distracting a little from the ceremony? So the High Septon becomes our friend. We can say Darren is right or don't get involved. Obviously, High Septon becomes our friend. Yeah. Made another friend. And our level of fame has gone up. We are now established. Fantastic. Okay, this is a good feast. We gained a manipulation hook on this guy via Cersei. What can we do with a manipulation hook? I mean, we could get money, but like, I mean, he'd have to have money. There's not a lot else we can do. Check for potential spies? Oh, so that's how we get spies. Huh. Interesting. Anyway, carrying on. We'll look at that later. The wedding night starts. The feast has started winding down with everyone sated and tired, but the day is still not over for Cersei and me. A procession of guests lead us to our bedchamber, for the legitimacy of a wedding depends on it being consummated. It's time. Lord Tywin and you became friends. We're friends with Tywin? Okay. We become friends with the High Septon, Tywin, Cersei, and Tyshaara. Everyone's our friend. Oh yeah, I forgot wait. Oh wait. Did we start with this? We're being Lady Lysa's lover? Oh. Yeah, that's probably worth knowing about. Okay. Interesting. As the banquet reached its climax, Cersei's growing anxiety of the imminent bedding ceremony was clear. My new wife turns to me as the procession sets off to our chambers, pleading, "Please, can't we do without this?" over the hollering and drumming. Say, "Don't be silly, it's tradition. Come dear, it'll be alright, or we have the room to ourselves." It'll make people dislike us, but that would be fine. Let's have the room to ourselves. Yeah, let's go with that. Okay. We've increased the acceptance between our cultures. The fire in the grate has started to wither, and I stare at its flames in silence. The light, the warmth. Lady Cersei is searching for something in her wooden chest, and I take my eyes off the flames to look at her. "Petyr," she says, offering me a small package wrapped in silk. "I've saved this since I heard of our betrothal. I now offer it to you as a token of my love." So we can get a marriage prayer brooch. Okay. But I'm going to say you are my greatest gift. See how that goes. Confessions. Lady Cersei has been idle all night, looking through the window and letting out some melancholic sighs whenever I try and approach her. She can't stop touching her hair, avoiding my gaze. The candles are almost running out, and she starts crying silently when I get up to rekindle them. "Petyr, I have something to confess. The blood, it was everywhere." Then say, "Worry not, my love, I shall protect you." We get confidence. Okay. "Stop, I don't want to hear the rest. I get clear conscience." Or actually, I have something to confess. Okay. Interesting. Wait, we learn of her lover's secret? Wait a second. I could then confess my secret as well? Interesting. Okay. We could also confess. Okay, I also have something to confess. A question of loyalty. My wife, Lady Cersei, is with child. That was quick. How long? How long for? 2 months. Let me just go to the activity log here. So when did so it started on the 8th moon. We are now in the the wedding started in the 4th moon. We are now in the 8th moon. So this isn't actually as suspect as it seems, because did she not become our lover earlier? No, she grew closer to it earlier. Interesting. Yeah. Huh. Now it's us becoming friends. Well, she was definitely our lover before the friends one happened. Yeah, so actually I think this is fine. Yes, I think this happened on the first event. So I think this happened on the event that made this happen. Okay, I think that makes sense. I'm going to say I must be the father. Wonderful. Right. Unfaithful. I know everything about your and Lady Liza's sordid affair. Yeah, well, I just told you. I was worried that the game would not know how to handle this. Do not waste your breath denying it, my lover's Cersei shouts reverberate through my bones. It takes everything in my power not to flinch. I cannot take this anymore, Petyr. You have to make a choice. It's me or her. Her? I'm not sure that was a good idea. When finally the last guest leaves, I look around at the deserted venue, the food leftovers, the spilled meat on the floor. Also, our level of fame now went up. We're now distinguished. The echoes of people's laughter still lingering in air, and I feel satisfied. What an amazing day. I did a fine job organizing it. So we get a magnificent host for a bunch of bonuses, and celebrated a magnificent wedding. And every guest gains opinion of me, and we married Cersei. Alright. Well, that was an interesting wedding. We also now have some items here. So we have a token here, which increases romance scheme power. We also have a spouse opinion brooch. Now, oh, we're also a few knights. We can fix some of these issues soon. Now, hot take, I think what we should do right now is we should immediately... I'm not going to blackmail her. Oh, yeah, also, what secret did she tell us? Did she tell us about... she did tell us about Jaime Lannister. Yeah. I do feel it's a little bit hypocritical. But anyway. And now we know his secret as well. Interesting. Right. I feel like what we should do... I wanted to start this with a romance... Oh, she's traveling. Okay, we need to wait a second or two. Is she still traveling? No. Okay. So I think what we should do here is we should probably re-seduce her. That should be our personal scheme. Because I think that would be useful for us to have. Okay. Dynasty Legacy. So there are many things we can do here. What is Veilman? So this is for mod only. So levy size mountains increases a lot. You get some clergy opinion. You get some increased knights. Heavy cav. Yeah, okay. That seems good, but like not good for us. Activities. Grand weddings are cheaper. Yeah, that would be nice, huh? However, we've just done that. What about Guile? Natural dread. Enemy hostile scheme success chance goes down and dread gain goes up. I suppose this is the one we probably should go. It gives us hostile scheme success chance. Yeah, this kind of seems like the path that we should probably go for. Let's do that. Let's go for ominous reputation. Desirable match is also interesting, but I don't think we need it right now. I don't think that this is the path forward. Yeah. Okay, it's because we're already married. Right, next up, I don't know what we want to do. Not sure what our next plan is, really. We could try and go down the seduction path here. Just see how that goes. Yeah. Is tongue the word for language? Yes, I think that is the language. That is language. They've just renamed it. That's fine. Let's take the extra fertility. Not that I think we necessarily need it. That would be potentially actually a problem for us if we have multiple children from the same wife. But hey, whatever. I think we're fine here. I also don't need you to tell me when there's a grand tournament available, as in when I can host one, because it's just not interesting information, really. Okay, I think that we're good. I'm going to wait a little bit, and then we've got more to do. Those have finished, so we're now making a little bit more money. A Sinister Consideration. As I make my way back from the set, Lord Merrick of Pinkstrath approaches me with a vivacious grin. Petyr, I know you and I both know the truth to be entertainingly malleable, and those foolish enough to fall for the deception deserve what comes of them. After all, who can tell us how the seven who are one would want us to live? We clearly have more in common than not, and I think that you and I should spend some more time together away from the rotten brains of simple people. What say you? And say a wonderful idea and he becomes my friend, or my sinful thoughts are not a thing to be proud of. Say a wonderful idea. Okay. We bonded over a shared sin. Interesting. Lord Allen is now away, so how strong is his land? Still fairly weak. How's the faction looking? Faction still only has one member, so yeah, we would be doing some heavy lifting if we were in the faction. Right. Also, look at this. Tywin loves us. He thinks we're great. That I think is great. Like that. We have a common friend. No, we don't. Oh, I'm looking at Tyrion. Oh, we're both friends of the High Septum. Oh, alright. Yeah. Might be time for us to try and get rid of Tyrion. He does have poor health already. If we just get rid of him as soon as possible. Tywin's wife is dead. Okay, yeah, so it's going to be fairly... And he's refusing marriage. So it's going to be fairly easy for us to ensure that Cersei is the next to inherit. Okay. Yeah, I think that might be something that we want to do here. No, that's the wrong person, actually. Also, but what I could do is check for potential spies. Okay. It's kind of ominous that it doesn't tell me anything. A spy can be hired. I should contact Moraine soon. Who's can I... That's kind of... Oh, right. I was going to say it looks kind of ominous in the... there. It's just because he's got a burnt side of the face and it looks odd. I should contact Moraine soon. Who's Moraine? Assuming she's here somewhere? Moraine. I should contact you soon, apparently. Recruit as spy? She'll say yes. Alright, I'm going to recruit her. Now, what does that do? She's now my spy. What does that do? I don't know. Okay, anyway, I'm going to start plotting against Tyrion. One predicted agent, Hild, is likely to join. Okay. Well, let's start our scheme. Let's see how we can do with that. Right. Anyone else want in our scheme? Nobody else is even available for the scheme. She's joined the ranks of my sprawling spy network. Apparently. Okay, cool. So 0 characters could be convinced to join. What's interesting is that this should let me see the full list of characters. They had a bug at one point where you couldn't see the full list of characters if there was nobody to invite, but that bug should have been fixed. Unless it isn't in the mods, but we'll see. Okay. As I'm reading... So this is Legacy of the Conqueror. As I'm reading the latest missives from around the realm, I cast my mind to its origins. The conquest of the Seven Kingdoms remains one of the greatest feats achieved within one lifespan. I cannot help but ponder the impact of Aegon's conquest on our realm. The legacy of the Targaryen dynasty is undeniable, and its foundations were drawn from that one man's actions. Part of me acknowledges the benefits that have come with the Targaryen rule. Stability, centralized power, and the protection of the dragons are not things to be taken lightly. I also wonder what would have happened had Aegon not crossed from Dragonstone. Would Westeros be divided to this day? Would a Westerosi have broken the stalemate? Could peace have been achieved without fire and blood? The legacy of the conquest will be debated for centuries to come, but it is for me to decide what I can take away from it. Such a foundation honors all in the realm. Interesting. Okay. Anyone else want to be part of this scheme? No. Okay. Cool. Let's do the next thing that I want to do. Also, Old Nan. Oh. Friends and foe across the land know Nan as old. It's a bit rude. Anyway. I'm doing a little search here. I'm looking for people in my court who are adults who are not married. Now, the reason why I want to do this search is we have a lot of people in our court who are currently unmarried. We can get a lot of people into our court by marrying off all of these people. It makes sense, really, doesn't it? So, let's find some people for these people to marry. What am I looking for? I don't know. Maybe just sum of all skills right now? And just see who's available? Maybe I just go relevance. No, they do need to be a little bit younger, actually. I want maximum age 35. There we go. And then we just pick some people, I think. I think that's essentially where we're at here. Is there anything else I want to do? Maybe I could, in theory, say I want them to have inheritable traits. Try and start building that up. Is there anything else I could do here? Don't really need them to have claims. I want them to not be a ruler. Yeah, that would be nice. Not that any of these people were. Yeah, and actually I do want them to be adults for now. And then, actually, maybe what happens if I go 25? What does it do? We still have 1,500. I think that's fine. And then maybe inheritable traits? 51. Okay. It seems like a good list. And then we're just going to marry off. Now, can I also say not lowborn? Is that possible? Dynasty not lowborn? Oh, okay. Let's take away inheritable traits. There's 8. Alright, now that's a better list. Okay, cool. Shireen. You're going to marry Shireen Kinnear. Wonderful. Then why do I want people who are not lowborn? Well, if they're not lowborn, they're part of a house, right? And if they're part of a house, then potentially they're somewhere in the line of succession. Where? I don't know. Will it be useful? I don't know. But it's more useful than them not being in a house. So, let's do that. Let's get her in. Next up, we have Osmond Kettleblack, who is going to marry Nola Banbeck here. Okay. Next up, we have... You can't marry, I think. Yep. Then we have Mara. Mara can only marry Osmond Kettleblack from the list currently. Okay, we'll do a future list in a second. So you can marry nobody. Okay. If there is nobody left who can actually marry with my selection, that's fine. You know what, let's wait a second or two. That's fine. Let these couple go through. The murder you scheme was exposed. Oh. Somebody is trying to murder us, but we don't know who. Well, thank you for that, Cersei. Also, Cersei is, in theory, increasing all of our stats, which is quite nice right now. Cool. You know what I could do, actually, if I want to increase my chance of getting this scheme to work against Tyrion? Let's switch you onto helping schemes, support schemes. Yeah, so now we're at 79%, and then actually Cersei, right now, you're going to give me a bunch of court intrigue points, which is going to make that 84%. That's much better. Also makes the secrecy higher, which is lovely. Right. Now, I just want to go in here and see if there are any spouses that we can find. No. Okay, so I think we're going to have to say all, and then maybe we do inheritable traits for these people. Okay, it's not bad. Matrilineal? Yeah, you'll also say yes to that. We do want it to be matrilineal, because we want to drag these people into our court. We don't want her being dragged into his court. So, let's do that. Yes, it's fine. Horace, you're going to marry this person. Wonderful. I'm not going to be too picky. Jamie, you're going to marry Milan. Next up, we have Barbara. Barbara's going to marry Tyrek. I didn't do that matrilineally. Can I undo that? You're going to marry Kelvin matrilineally. And we're going to see what happens. I really wanted to say yes to the Kelvin one. Yeah, fantastic. We broke it. We managed to stop her leaving our court, which is wonderful. Right, Priscilla, you're going to marry Tyrek matrilineally. There we go. Right. Marissa, nobody's valid. Okay. I think we still have some valid people here. Yeah, so Ismi's next one for you to marry. Osgood, marry Lily. Next up, we have you. You can marry nobody. Aelwyn. You can marry Andara. It's fine. Next up, we have Leona, who nobody can marry. Fiona, nobody. I should remember to use the hotkey for opening the character search, because we're going to need it a lot if we do this. We have Leona 2.0. Sonora. Gwyneth. Terrence. Terrence can marry someone. He's going to marry Cyrissa. And then we have Robin. Now, Robin, are you sure you can't marry somebody who is not lowborn? Yes, you can marry a not lowborn. Fantastic. You're going to marry Clara. Seems great. Right. Let these all go through. Do a little speed 5 for a second just to get all of them. Right. So is that good? Treasures inbound. My steward, Aelwyn, brings me good news. A caravan from the Riverlands carrying a hefty load of valuable goods is passing along the high road. Surely they wish to sell some treasures in the Vale for a fair price. Can't wait to see their wares. I hope they have some nice books. Or, I hope the wine merchant I met a few years ago returns like he promised. Let's say I hope they have some nice books. Okay. Wonderful. So this is now our list. Now we can go in here and we can say, hey, I want to find someone for you to marry. Then we're going to take away the lowborn restriction. I'm going to put back on the inheritable trait restriction, but we're going to raise the age to 35. And suddenly we have people who can marry. Wonderful. So let's go with Adam. Oh yeah, matrilineally. Adam. There we go. The reason why I keep forgetting matrilineally is in the last playthrough that we were doing, it auto-ticked the matrilineal flag. And the reason it auto-ticked the matrilineal flag is because we had a different succession law. So we had equal succession, and the reason why that auto-ticks the flag is it assumes that you could be trying to marry off and want succession to still be fine. Which is nice. Would be nice if there was a way of setting it kind of globally, though, if you want to do this. Because generally you want to marry people into your court. That's kind of like the better way round of doing things. Gwyneth, matrilineal. There we go. Let's see what we got left after this. Right. Get everybody into our court. And now we should only have a couple left. Yes, so we have you. I'm going to remove the age restriction. Oh, I think this, yeah, it's a little bug where you sometimes have to do it twice. There we go. And then, does that work for you as well, Fiona? It does indeed. It does indeed. Fantastic. Wonderful. Windswept. My steward, Aelwyn, brings me grave news. The Riverlander caravan was swept by a strong gale of winds when passing the high road. The whole group of merchants plummeted to the depths below. There were no survivors. 7 hells. It seems the stranger has claimed the treasures for himself. Or the corpses may carry some fine valuables. I'm going to loot the corpses. Obviously, it's 200 gold. I'm not crazy. You've created a new culture, Turelis. Alright, sure. Amorious understanding. In my pursuits of Lady Cersei's affection, it would be very helpful to know exactly what her tastes and preferences are. Well, we can just use our very high intrigue skill, or our schemer trait actually in this case, and we can just know. Fantastic. Well, that was easy enough. Okay. Now, have we sorted out this here? Yes, so everybody in our court who can marry has married. Now, why is this fantastic for us? Well, if we go back to our accolades thing that we were looking at previously, you will see all of our knights are much better. Now, do we have any of these that would be good to create? Right, this one. So, Scoundrel and Thug. So, we're looking at... I don't really need any of those. How about Lerold? Zealotry, Holy War bonuses. Definitely not important. Adam? Gives Liege Marshal. Oh, gives Intrigue from Manipulator. Gives Intrigue Scheme Power. Caps and Effectiveness per Dread. Natural Dread. I think this is good. I think I'm happy with this one. We're going to call you the Guard Commander. It's going to take away the of Midlore Point. And who's this? So this is Adam. Okay, let's create that accolade. Can I change? Oh wait, it says I can change the secondary. You qualify for a different one. What else do you qualify for? Charmer. Your courtiers are slightly more vulnerable to the seduction scheme of any character. Highly increased fertility and attraction while hosting a feast or a grand wedding. We can lower levy maintenance, or we can have you make our archers better. We're going to go with Charmer. We're going to Manipulator Charmer. I don't know why it lets you set that there if it doesn't remember it. Let's create that one. There we go. I remembered it the second time I did it. So now we have the Guard Commander. We have no successor. So I can actually then call for a worthy successor using some prestige. And in theory, somebody should arrive who fits these requirements. Which would be nice. Okay. Cool. Let's unpause. Wait, how long have you been pregnant? 6 months. Yeah. Let's wait till we have a child. And see where we get to here. Osmond Kettleblack has increased his marshal. Schemers discovered. My spy master has come to me with grave news. It is Gerald, the son and heir of my rival Simond, who is plotting to kill me. Who? Who? I barely know who you are. I mean, I do know who you are, but I barely know who you are. Alright, we shall kill you later. Okay. Interesting. Hey, your newborn heir is your player. Your newborn son is your player heir. I can't help but notice the blonde hair. Immediately, I noticed the blonde hair. However, delicate, genius, beautiful. Now, the thing that makes it more likely that he is our child is the fact that we have genius. Wait, she does not have genius. She is beautiful. So he's actually inherited 2 of our traits. And if we go back a generation to his grandfather, none of those traits. We go, yeah, other grandfather, none of those traits. Grandmother, none of those traits. Grandmother, none of those traits. So those all came from us. So, that's a pretty good sign. Scheme abandoned. Murder on you has been abandoned. Well, that's good. So Merrick. We can name after an ancestor. Gerald. We can name him Tywin. John. Titus. Tywin. Quentin. Tormo. Willem. Do we have a name? We can name him Peter. Yeah, you know what? Let's be egotistical. Let's name our child after us. This is going to be Peter. There we go. Wonderful. So we now have Petyr Baelish the Second, potentially. Wonderful. You're not employing any wet nurses. Well, we should employ one, shouldn't we? Andara would be good at this. So this one is going to reduce the chance for a child to contract illnesses and possibility for child development events. Wonderful. And then we also, on top of that, do we not need a court tutor? Or are there no court tutor positions here? I do not see a court tutor. Oh, you know what court tutor must be? They must have, yeah, they rolled it into Maester. Ah, well, that's fine then. Wonderful. Right. I think that is a pretty good point to end the episode. We've ended with a child who is most likely ours. We have many, many friends, including our wife. We potentially could get our wife seduced and become our lover again. We are trying to kill Tyrion. And, yeah, we found out that we actually are Lady Lysa's lover. I'm not sure how we can use this, but there's potential. There's potential somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to end the episode there. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.